am back again. I'm still doing sampling, so I figured I'd bring you along and let you guys watch what I'm working on. So today's set is celestial stuff. So celestial, lunar, solar, Big Bang, galaxy, and phases of the moon. And I'm going to work on the jumbo ones. So there we go. So this is set one, and that's set two. And I also finally printed out double tall, tiny roller handles, which I love. I think they're fun. Oh, playing with something new. I haven't figured it out yet. Still in the middle of making all the pieces and parts work. I had to redesign everything. But I am working on making handles that have depth guides. So, like 8 or 9 millimeters, I have printed up and built up. So, I don't have an extra large over here. What do I have? Oh, that's the mermaids. These are coming, guys. I'll get those up on the actually. Let me show you. I'll get these up on the site soon. Kind of fun. Kind of a little bit different depth mapping. So that was kind of what I was missing. But anyway, so yeah, so this will allow you to map out, and then it will also technically allow this to free roll. I had some people asking me for free rolling. So if you take those off and use them without, it should still free roll. Where the other build has a catch that catches onto the edges and kind of locks them in so that you actually have the handle to grip them. This one will be more of a free roll setup and have these. So we shall see how that turns out. Still in the process of making them awesome, but they should free roll like that. And if you don't want the depth guides, these actually more match, so you won't get lines in them outside of your. So yeah, that's the new thing that I have been working on and working on and working on. But today's project, if I can stick to it because of ADD, is we're going to play with the Celestial Selection. So I am going to try to get my pictures along the way. Hopefully I don't forget any. And let's get to it. So this will probably show up a little. The depth map will show up better in a small than the tiny double talk. These are little, but so these details are kind of on the fine side. Spray them down with water and roll them up a bit. And there we go. Let me set you there. Grab this and that. And shove the rest of you stuff out the way. And we're going to start here. It does not matter. I don't believe there is a one size better than the other. Roll back just a little and then push forward. There we go. And of course, I picked up a little. Not as usual. Just grab a little needle and pokey till you get it cleared up. Oh, that went flying somewhere. God only knows where that went. So I've explained it before a few times, but they definitely are the tighter the detail, the finer the detail, the more likely stuff is to stick. There's a straight line there. That's why that stopped going. So make sure you get extra wet if you've got finer details. Definitely don't play with these without this. Oh, the other thing too, I'm planning on doing as I'm getting these tiny ones all organized and set up. I'm planning on selling them just in the sets, like I said, so it'll just be embossing, debossing, or I think if you get both sets, it's going to come with the handles, the nozzle cleaning needle, and the little rack that holds them. So I'm not going to do that for just single embossing or debossing, but if you buy both sets, it'll all come together. So that'll be the little package that I'll be building out, but I have to build a whole different listing for that. That'll just be these little guys. So that's kind of in the works or in the plans. All right, I'll fight with the rest of those later because it really doesn't matter that much. And next one is already wet, but I'm going to wet it more. So that was way more likely to catch, just to explain things to you guys. because of how tight the lines are to each other on some of those little loops in the roundabouts. Um, this is a lot less likely to catch. It might catch some in there where things are a little deep, but otherwise it's not as likely to catch. But anyway, so let's roll this one out. Again, I don't think it really matters where I start and stop. I like to back roll just a hair. Explain this 100 times, but I liked the handles because it allows me to get a little outward pressure, but I still want to keep even pressure to the inside. And usually if I hesitate or stop, although I pushed a little sideways there, so you can see there's a little bit of distortion. I got focused on talking and not rolling smooth. But yeah, so as much of an even single pressure as you can. If you have to stop, just release the pressure slowly. Release your tension at the end. Quarter roll back, like just an eighth of roll, just a little, like just tip it back so you can lay pressure back in again a little bit. Is usually what works best for me. So dry those off, take some pictures because those came out great, and I'll show them to you guys in 1 second. Right, oh, I like having debossing. Sorry, I totally forgot about staging my photos. I like having the roller kind of in the picture with it too. So you go there, and why not? There you go. Ahead of itself. There you go. Now you guys can get the close up. So, you guys are having trouble with lighting today. Better over here. How about if I yank that? No, that didn't help things. Maybe a little, but oh well. No, it's better with light. Okay. But yeah, so this is debossing. And that's embossing. And it's rather cute. I like it. Alright, set that to the side. Oh, man, no, I have to pull those off. I don't have enough space to store stuff right now. I need to unclutter some more tiles. Tiles cluttered. The things that sit on my tiles. These were little bead guides I made out of clay to just set these across with beads in them. So knitting needles, stainless knitting needles, and then I built little lifts so that I could use that to cook some beads. So those can find a spot. Where did the bead tools go? I don't know. Oh, there they are. Oh, look! I outsmarted myself for once. I put a container's worth spot for them. Aha! There's ADD for the win. I don't know how many of you guys deal with ADHD, but holy smokes, it's entertaining. Glass on my seat because I have nowhere else to put it. I'll add dicey these off. So, it'll get stuck down. So okay, you guys go float around over here. Or actually, if I was smart, I'd start putting these down. Because I then build a little set of these that show, do I want it like that or do I want it, I think I want it like that. So that I can show the whole set off and then the rest of this is scrap. Alrighty, sit there. These are all scrap. That aside. Because I keep using them for the same purpose, I just stack it all together like this. So I can run it through my roller at the right width, and I can rework it so that mostly it stays at the correct width, which is nice. All right, trade. These have been rolled. These are next. Again, I have just too much stuff hanging out all in my space. Don't need the knife at the moment. Put it in its little holder. Okay, these are awesome too. My little butterfly blade holders. You put a magnet in the back of them so the blades actually stay put until you pull one out. Maybe that can go away-ish. Ready? Next piece of clay. No, know I've described this 100 times. The other one I think I had already set up ready to roll. And I have since lost my little piece of paper. One and down there. Give a little bit of press down and grab these. Handy spritzer. I don't want to get all over the clay in the glass though. These have a much less likelihood of catching clay. Still a little bit, but not too bad. It's more just like these little nooks where they get kind of tight in there but for the most part, that should be fine. Dry-ish my hands. Start with the debossing one. Make sure that's in the right direction. What are you crazy puppies doing over there? You're being minions as always. Oh, so this is where the handles are kind of a little more appropriate to have. Some of them matter, some of them don't. This set's actually kind of nice to have them. Those are rather pokey, like quite pokey. Not draw blood pokey, but uncomfortable to run your hands on pokey. So definitely is nice to be able to alleviate, like spread some of the pressure out to here. If you see what I do there, I've got the palms of my hands, or the fat part of my hand down on the roller, and that's laying some weights there, but I want a little bit in the middle too to make sure I don't bow it out. And slowly forward, and come back just a hair. And that one is lunar debossing. Quite pretty. All right, lunar embossing. The other thing to be aware of, especially since I'm working so hard to make sure that I get a good deep press on these, I want to make sure that I leave room for the clay to keep moving. So the clay started this wide and stretched out a bit as I'm rolling. So start there, back, go forward, back, and go forward. There we go. This has always been one of the best ones. This one's really cool. Although actually solar is awesome. I don't know why I like the solar pattern so much, but I really do. I did a couple of little Makumi Gane set with the solar. It's really pretty. A little tempted to play with it some more. Sorry, snapping my pictures real quick. The whole reason I'm doing this. Alrighty, so that set has been rolled. Now we will go ahead and out things that we want to keep for later. So, let's see, I definitely want to include all those little partial moons, and then probably half of that. So something similar over here, partial moon, and half that. All right, here's my pile of scrappies. Bad and scraps. Scraps. Scrap. All right, and then lift these guys and lift. Scrap spare clay. Don't do that at home if you saw what I just did. Not recommended. Don't take your fingers to the blades. Okay, and then it looks like I have plenty to do the other set too without having to roll anything else out. I'm trying my hardest to not have to roll out stuff while I've got you guys on live because that Atlas motor gets loud. Awesome. Oh, still another shout out to Ed Street for my wicked roller because it's just the coolest thing ever. Oh, look, now I have an extra tile. I'll go away. Get you someplace else safe. And just pull this over real quick. Yeah, it's my Ed Street roller, and I love this thing. He puts a acrylic base on it. So rather than having the metal base that it comes with, this is much more stable and it holds up better and makes slightly less noise than it does if it doesn't have the base. Only slightly, but it does help. Yeah, I love his pasta Mercado pasta machine. He does his own modifications on it. So he colorizes it if you want it to, and he puts the bottom on it. And as I understand it, he's only working with the new ones that have the removable blades, which is awesome because those are way easier to clean. I should do a video strictly on that one of these days. I end up throwing just random tidbits into my videos, so it's hard to actually find when I do stuff. All right, so this is debossing, that one's embossing. This one is definitely got tight enough little spots all in there that that's got a good chance of catching stuff. So I'm gonna get it even. Actually, I'm just gonna spray my clay this time, although I'll probably end up pushing it off the tile. That may have not been the right decision. Let's see. This one is debossing. And this one is embossing. Ooh, debossing. And nice. Yeah, it's just super pretty. I love this one. Oh, I should probably have dried that off before I. It may be time to switch tile after this mess. Alright. That back in. That one back in. Picture. Setting. Avoid all the shadows. Definitely likes to shadow. Up properly. There we go. Okay. Debossing, embossing. Just makes it easier to grab them on the fly. So, yeah, that light is on. That one's debossing, and that one is embossing. So there's a lot of these patterns where I just wing it and make it up. I kind of try to figure out what I think is the most predominant element. So in this one, it was the blades from the sun. So you see the blades from the sun are what are on top, and there the blades from the sun are pressed in. So that's how I decide which one's embossing and debossing. But to be honest, it kind of doesn't matter what you call it, which is why I'm trying to get sample photos so you all have a little bit easier time making a decision on. Well, actually, I'm going to go a little closer to there and there. Okie dokie. Back to my scrap pile. Dogs, what are you all doing over there making noises? Don't want water within my scrap pile if I can help it. This way. You're a little bit wet. All the wetness. And getting interesting. So, yeah, got some fuzz in it. Cold garbage instead. Right. And I'll go and stacking these on. So, debossing, embossing, embossing, debossing. We'll have to figure this out. Oh, actually, I can put those together now because we are through one of these. All right. Oh, let me actually this one up here. The wet one anyway, so I might as well dry it off. All right. So alphabetically, it is Celestial. Lunar. Oh, I'm doing embossing. Okay. Embossing, lunar. I find a trick for getting straight lines to line up with each other a little bit better is to take your knife and kind of set it in from on your knife and lay it down, and then you can kind of use your knife to, come on, lift and push it together. There we go. Getting way more practice with this than I ever wanted to. That's already, there we go. Straighten up that line as much as I can. Hope you guys aren't being subjected to whatever that beeping is, but something's beeping in the house. Ready. Why are you guys being terrible together? What are you guys doing over there? Line straight, lift. Use the knife to kind of, see how I did that? I don't know if you guys caught that. So I'm gonna straighten. Make sure you're free. Straighten the edge, the thing, and then I'm going to, while it's still slightly off ground, I'm going to come and try to get behind this and press. So I can lift it a little bit more and then press and try to get it to press up against that edge, and that seemed to work better. Okie dokie. Yep, the puppies are being gremlins. They're getting so old now. They're 10 or 11 months old. And starting to be little hellions. Now they actually did really good at the dog show this past weekend. If anybody happens to follow me on Facebook, I think all the wee ones, except, well, Karma didn't win anything because she's just a little spaz, but she showed by the end. She actually kept her feet on the ground and went around the way she was supposed to and learned new stuff. I was so proud of her. Brother's like natural. He's just like, kismet. He's just like, I'm gonna win. And he does. And then Lumiere has got the most charming little face and appeal. He's adorable. And he won a bunch too. Okay. So tricky getting it to acknowledge the lighting I want it to acknowledge because of all the stinking AI extras in the cameras. I don't understand how it makes shadows come and go. But I get shadows from above. Switch the lighting. Yep, that solves it. No more shadow fight. Okay. I don't think you guys see me nearly well enough from there, though. Okay, so zoom in one more time. So that is Celestial Embossing Set, and that is the Celestial Debossing Set in double tall. So when it's not double tall, it is, these are small, these are tiny, different size set, but it is exactly half. And sometimes I set it up so the half is in the middle and it extends. Sometimes it doesn't matter because it's just a repeating pattern and it don't matter. So like I could have put the moon where the moon was totally centered, but I ended up, so like on this, it's top and bottom. So I didn't, yeah, it's smaller, it's hard to show. Anyway, yeah, that's the difference in how that works out though. All right, cool. So those get set aside. I already photographed them. I think they're actually technically trash at this point, but I will just set them aside. So, and on to the other half of the set. And how long have we been streaming? Does it tell me? 23 minutes. Man, I was hoping to do this under 30 minutes. Let's see how quick we can get through this other half of the set. No, I might have enough tiles out. I'm just going to leave them out and not cut them all up. That way you guys don't have to watch everything. All right, so this one is Phases of the Moon. Alrighty. This one took me forever to figure out. Man, it was tricky. Just getting the moons to stand out. There's a touch of texture in the background so that if you actually get a truly full depth roll, you do still get all the texture in the background. Stand up, I know better. But it's super subtle. I don't think I've rolled this one out for me to see yet. It's funny, and you get a little bit of ridging between them because it lifts and falls a little bit, so it actually makes a difference. That's interesting. It actually would make really, really, those would be beautiful huggy earrings, wouldn't they? Definitely better to do it with a double tall, even if all you need is the normal height, because you just don't have as much playroom. I might hang on to the scraps from this and do something with those. Oh, yes. And then what's really pretty about that, like I said, is that really, really, really subtle. There we go. The subtle background texture. So this is debossing. The embossing won't leave the ripples in between the sets of moons. But to be honest, that's a cool effect. I am not going to complain about that. I actually like that a lot. I got you wet already, right? Yes. The next one. Room for that to press out if it does. And oh, good, my printer is done. Yay! Done and not broken, right? Filament printer and I do not have a good relationship. I have a much better relationship with my resin printers. So this has to get pressed really good to make sure you fill up those moons now. Definitely getting more detail when you press the moons in because you're forcing a ton of all the detail in. I don't know. I don't even know that thicker clay would help with that. I might just have to press a little bit harder. Oh, my right hand was harder than my left. Let me try one more. Let me just be mean and clay. See if I can't make sure that we get those fully impressed. This is why I kind of like to do this live a little bit. I'm trying to shorten it up, but that way you guys get to see like what works and what doesn't, and get a little feel for how to pressurize, and I can share a little bit more information with you other than just posting pictures on. You know, I'm gonna actually try taking the handles off. I want to make sure that I don't bow it and that I get plenty of pressure. Which collarbone of mine is it? It's broken. There we go. Huh. The broken one is the one that puts more pressure. Interesting. So yeah, definitely worth doing it again. So y'all can see the difference. Because sometimes I'll have people like tell me that the details don't all show up. And sometimes it's a details issue, and sometimes it's just flat out you gotta really press to get that whole impression in there. These are gonna be amazing though. I think I'm going to just do something with these, and then I'll finish the other ones. I want to play with these though. Okay, I'm setting these aside, playing with these later. I need another tile again. Ah. Tile. Yay! Oh, actually, look at me. I got one already set up. Ha! There was one more that was preset. Okay, those are done. The last couple of these. These I definitely do need to use the handles on because again, this is now super pokey, and it's such a neat pattern. So this is. I struggled with releasing these. I almost didn't put these out, but I'm glad I did. Um, they're they're a little trickier. Oh, let me get that first. They're a little bit trickier than a lot of my other stuff, where it's just way obvious top and bottom and good depth. And these have a variation in patterning and design in a way that it's not like as obvious. And like part of me just wants to like make everything look like a stamp, sort of, so that it's really, really, really obvious. Man, that is pokey. What you're getting out of it, but this is just, it's amazing. It's so gorgeous. So I think like potters can make use of this best because they use the glazes that fill in. So everything that's deeper is darker and it just kind of pools in those places. Um, yeah, that could also take a little bit of playing with the, again, mica powder. You can brush mica powder on it, but it's harder to, actually, that debossing, this might mica powder really nice. This one, let's see if I can't get it to about the same amount of that whole pattern. Yeah, press super hard. because even though it doesn't look like it's such a deep pattern, I still want to make sure it fills up that whole thing. There we go. And then the embossing. Oh, I didn't take pictures. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. I'll just set these aside and take my pictures later. Yeah, so that's debossing and embossing. Yeah, those come out really, really pretty. And alrighty, and the last set to go. And then I think I might go off air, photograph that stuff, and do some housekeeping, and then come back and make a little jewelry out of those. I've got some ideas I want to play with. All right, so last set is here, and this one is Galaxy, which is also very pokey. The debossing is quite pokey. I don't know, guys. Comment if you think if I should include the roller with every double set, or if I should just make it buy it a separate thing. That way, I don't know. I'll think on that. This one is titled Galaxy. And it's so pokey because it's got all that great background information in there. I have a feeling on the embossing it's going to be another one that's going to require just a ton of pressure to get that whole center. There we go. Okay. And that is Galaxy. So, yep, that's my set of celestial rollers. So I am going to sign off, and I will set up a few things, and I'll come back shortly and yeah, mess around with some projects with these.